The question for today's video is, what is your favorite anime or manga series that is based around gods and pantheons? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Hello everyone, welcome to the Anime Void. I'm Brian, your host, and today I'm going to be doing a more discussion video, which is something I want to do more of on this channel, because I usually try to keep my reviews and first impressions and now the manga obscurity to a sort of surface level kind of stuff. I don't want to go too deep into it, but for discussions, I do want to delve a bit deeper into several more topics of whatever the hell I'm talking about in that particular video. And in this video, I'm talking about the mythical detective Loki. Specifically, Mythical Detective Loki Ragnarok, because that's the only thing the states know. The Mythical Detective Loki Ragnarok started off as a manga series by Sakura Kinoshita. And the funny thing about this series is that this is actually technically the second series. The original series of Mythical Detective Loki was a 7-volume manga series that then got shifted to a different publisher, who then branded it as Mythical Detective Loki Ragnarok. The problem with that is that they did not restart from the beginning. So, Ragnarok is more of a continuation from where the 7th volume of the initial series left off, and that's what we have in the States. This is not the beginning of the story. This is somewhere in the middle of the story. And I find that fascinating, quite honestly, because this manga is done by ADV Manga, who did the anime with their ADV Films division. ADV is a lot of my anime childhood, quite honestly. It's a surprising amount. But I have no basis on what happened here, but I'm going to assume because the anime was called Mythical Detective Loki Ragnarok, that they just assumed that this was the beginning. And that's just what happened. Because it was early in the lifespan of anime in States, we're getting more of the obscure stuff. This is just super obscure stuff. So I don't think it was really properly looked into. And again, I have no sources for that. That's just a gut feeling. If I'm wrong, please tell me what the full story on this is, because I really, really want to know. And then another fun tidbit about the manga is that there are only 2 volumes in America. Only Volume 1 and Volume 2 were formally released in America. Though the Wikipedia page says 3 volumes were released, and the 3rd volume was Volume 4, but I can't really find that, so yeah. Though there are English versions of this. I believe Singapore actually had the full run in English. That's gonna be hell to get, so I might not get it, but I just got this and Volume 2 off of eBay for like 15 bucks. Because it's just like, I just want this in my collection because it's such an interesting thing to me. It's so rare and so incomplete. Now, I've been just rambling on about the production and the intrigue around that and the publishing and the release of this series. I have yet to explain what the series is about. So, I'm sure that you all know about the Norse god Loki, god of chaos, mischief, and just random messing around. So, yeah, if you know the Marvel character, you have an idea about what Loki is. Might not be entirely accurate, but you have the idea. This is a Loki who is technically none of that. He's still called like the god of chaos and stuff like that, but really the entire show is about him being cursed to live on Earth as a Shota, and he must solve supernatural problems rather than cause them in order to gain enough power back to reach godhood again and confront Odin for screwing with him in the first place. So it's a kind of a full backwards scenario about who should be screwing over who. In some ways, this is like Case Closed, only with, I'm assuming, more magic. I never actually watched Case Closed, or read it, for that matter. I just know that he was a full-grown man, then he turned to a Shota for reasons I don't actually know. So that's just the connection that I'm making. But of course, Loki isn't alone in this entire endeavor. He is joined by the secondary protagonist, Myra, who is a girl who believes in the supernatural and the spooky stuff, but never actually witnesses it. She's like just super into this stuff, but at no point does she actually bear witness to anything that goes on firsthand. So that's kind of like that comedy aspect follows throughout the entire series, and it does get a chuckle. And Loki is also helped out by his assistant Yamano, who is actually the Midgardsormr. I butchered that pronunciation, but he is the world's serpent. He is Loki's son, in the form of a man, and also not circling the world anymore. I have no idea how that works, but he's there. Thor is also there, who, instead of wielding a hammer, wields a kendo stick. So that's fun. And we have other ones like Freya, Heimdall. Hel appears at some point, but you get it, the point. There is a litany of the Norse pantheon appearing. From where I read up to, I don't remember Odin actually physically appearing, so I don't know if he ever does. I just know that he's basically the main villain. He is the one that Loki has to stop and do things. Again, it's a very confusing situation where Loki is the good guy. He is the one solving all the problems rather than causing them. So you have to go into it knowing that that's happening. This is reverse Loki. Deal with it. Also, fun little tidbit into my mind's working. Back when making a bridge series was the most popular thing to do on YouTube, I did actually write out a full script for episode 1, Mythical Detective Loki Abridged. I don't know where that script went now, and I never actually did anything with it because I had no means to do anything with it, but I wrote it out, and it's a thing that I wanted to do. Maybe I'll do it for funsies. Again, purely for fun. That's never going to actually become a thing. But it's something that I want to do because, you know, it's something that'd be good practice, and it's just the idea that I had a very long time ago. And again, it would just be good editing practice, good timing, stuff like that. So I might do something with that idea. And the series itself, it's fun. Again, if you want to read it, you're gonna have to read it online or manage to find the ones from Singapore. And again, I might even be misremembering that. I'm just pretty sure that they did have English volumes there. But it's a fun little series. It's nothing spectacular. It's something that I'm kind of surprised wasn't super popular when it first came out because it hit almost every single note of a popular anime series of that time. It was the magic, it was the dark and spooky, it was pretty boys. There are a lot of pretty boys in this. So it's one of those things where I'm surprised it didn't really reach at least a cult status. It might have like a tiny cult status now, but it's one of those series where it's just like, it hits so many good notes for the time that it came out that it's just odd that it never reached beyond no one hearing about it. All in all, I do recommend people check the series out. It's a good time capsule in a way for the reasons I just explained. And you could find something that you like about it on your own. You just kind of have to remember that it's an older anime, it's early 2000s. you gotta go into that with that frame of reference because the dubbing isn't that great, the animation is not that great. But it does have its simple charms, and you can just get into it. The biggest hurdle you're gonna have if you are a Norse mythology fan is the fact that everything is wrong and makes no sense. But yeah, have you seen Mythical Detective Loki Ragnarok before? Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. And what do you think about this kind of doing for videos, for the most part, where I go into more in-depth about various aspects of the anime's existence rather than the anime itself? Because I kind of want to try and do that more, do a little more research, the things I do. Because, again, the reviews are mostly there to be surface level, to just kind of give people an idea of what this is about, and maybe my explaining it will sound favorable to them, and the other ones are kind of like that too, first impressions, manga obscurity, stuff like that. That's the idea for those, but there are certain animes that I do want to go more in-depth on, and really just get into more of the minutia of it. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. And before I sign off, I want to let you know that if you are interested in digital art, webcomics, and some cosplay, you check out my buddies over at creativeattribute.com. And if you fancy buying anything from the store, anything at all, use coupon code VOID for 10% off of any purchase. And if you want to see me and more of my nonsense, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss an upload from me. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links also in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time in the Void. Later.